Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. For this class, please grab a couple of yoga blocks and a strap. And let's begin in a comfortable seat of your choice. And as you're getting situated, maybe grabbing some props if you're still arriving, I'd like to open up with an excerpt that brings us to the first limb of the 8 limbs of yoga. If you might remember, the very first limb has 5 practices, ethical practices, sometimes called self-restraints. And the very first one, often thought of as the most important, is ahimsa. Ahimsa is Sanskrit for nonviolence. And you might also translate it to mean loving kindness. So here's an excerpt about loving kindness from the Yoga Almanac. Cultivating warm-hearted feelings. Imagine a world where every person radiates kindness, compassion, and patience for one another, in which jealousy, spite, and frustration do not exist. This is the path of bhakti, one of the 4 main ancient yogic paths, alongside jnana, to pronounce that correctly, raja, and karma. Bhakti Yoga, Sanskrit for devotion, teaches that liberation is found through connection to the divine, achieved by surrendering to the universal blissful love we innately possess. There are 9 steps of bhakti, beginning with the recognition of truth and reliance on faith. Next steps circumscribe practice and devotion, traditionally to a teacher, but whomever you deem teacher. When we practice loving kindness to ourselves, we can then share it outwardly with all beings. The result is an awakening of divine love within. In the Buddhist tradition, the practice of loving kindness is known as metta. Metta is one of the 4 sublime states put forth by Theravada Buddhism, along with compassion, equanimity, and empathetic joy. These might ring a bell for those of you that have been practicing with us for the past several months, and we were talking about the attitudes of mindfulness. These attributes are also known as the 4 immeasurables, the successful employment of which leads to a Brahma state, a union with God consciousness. I'll talk a little bit more about metta, as that will be the focus of our meditation practice at the end. But for now, let's take a moment to feel into our bodies. Maybe it means putting a hand at your heart center, a hand on your belly. Maybe it means closing your eyes. And as you let your body be still, tune into whatever it's telling you right now through all the sensations. Sense the way that your body is naturally breathing without having to change that. Which then might communicate what you're feeling on the inside mentally and emotionally. And so as you kindly listen in to what's going on with you today, what's alive in you right now, clarify an intention for this practice. What is it that you would like to focus on? Maybe perhaps put your energy towards, as we unite body, mind, spirit, breath. And to add to that, how might you gift yourself loving kindness through this practice as well? Beginning with ourselves. And then maybe think of somebody or a group of beings that you could dedicate your practice to today. And so as we send out our intentions, our dedications, let's create resonance together as a community, chanting 3 ohms. Exhale this breath. Take a deep breath in. Let's slowly inhale. And like you're fogging a mirror, exhale a whisper all the way to the end. Try that a couple more times on your own. Slowly lengthening your breath to an even in and out. And creating a very soft, gentle whisper to the sound of your breath that you could listen to throughout most of this physical practice. Let's see if you can continue breathing that sound with the lips closed. So you can create it by gently narrowing the back of your throat in the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama or victorious breathing. So tune into that sound and please take one of your blocks and come to lie down onto your back. So lying on your back with your knees bent, hug the skinniest width of the block right in between your thighs, setting your 2 feet apart on the floor as wide apart as your knees. And then bringing your arms down by your sides, ground your shoulders, ground your feet. Make sure that your feet are parallel. Feet are where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite that close. And as you ground the backs of your shoulders, tilt your chin slightly back away from your chest to open your throat. Now prepare to lift your pelvis gently into bridge pose as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, we'll right away slowly lower the spine, tailbone last. Let's try that for 5 cycles of deep breaths. So when you're ready, press the feet down, inhale, tilt your tailbone up, and as you hug the block, lifting your hips, stretch the fronts of your thighs forward, lifting your chest. And at your pace of breath, on your exhalation, start to lower upper back, middle back, tailbone last. And then continue for 4 more moving bridge poses. Maybe each time playing with stretching your breath just a little bit slower, as this is a wonderful posture for helping to open up your capacity for deep inhalations. As you keep your feet still, when you lift your hips, feel the back muscles of your thighs, which are your hamstrings, activate. It's that feeling as if your heels were dragging back towards your glutes, but don't actually move your feet. Make sure to keep them still. It's just a feeling from contracting your hamstrings. When you finish your 5th moving bridge pose, please keep the block between your thighs. Rest your pelvis on the ground for about 3 deep breaths. Notice how your body feels after that. Scoot the arms in a little closer to your side ribs and prepare to lift and hold your bridge pose for your count of 5 to 10 deep breaths. So when you're ready, lifting your hips, walk your upper arms closer together underneath your back ribs. And as you keep your arms straight, not bending the elbows, if your hands happen to touch, you might also interlace your fingers. Press the ground away with the outsides of your upper arms. And as you're engaging your hamstrings, also lengthen the fronts of your thigh bones forward. Slightly spiral your inner thighs towards the ground. Feel your entire rib cage fill up with your breath. Feel your belly receive your breath too. Bridge pose, or in Sanskrit, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And it's your call. Once you finish your count of 5 to 10 breaths, with an exhalation, articulate, lowering each vertebra to the ground at a time. Nice. So once you've lowered your spine, please put the block aside and find your strap. Stepping the ball of your right foot into the strap, extend your right leg up towards the sky. You could bend the knee as needed and hold the strap just in your left hand. Scoot your pelvis another 3 to 4 inches towards the right edge of your mat. And for a moment, use your right thumb and hook the crease of your right outer hip, pressing it towards the front of your mat. Feel a slight lengthening along the right side of your torso. As you ground your right shoulder and relax the left leg onto the floor, sickle your right foot, which means from the ankle, turn the sole of the foot to face your left wall. This will get into the IT band a bit. And then keeping that right shoulder down, begin to slowly twist to your left side, breath by breath. Now to keep you from rolling over, go ahead and open your right arm wide onto the floor. Keep that shoulder down and maybe even look past it. Try to feel that right outer hip still shifting slightly away from your torso to help traction your lower spine in the twist. And then listen in on your breath, another 3 cycles. And on your next inhale, let's roll onto your back. Step the ball of your left foot into the strap and extend your left leg towards the sky. Holding the strap in your right hand, scoot your pelvis even closer to the left edge of your mat. Use your left thumb and feel the hooking of the outer left hip, drawing it away from your torso towards the front edge of your mat. Sickle your left foot, so from the ankle, turn the sole to face your right wall. Keep that action. And then as you slide the right leg onto the floor, keep the left shoulder grounded and begin to slowly twist to your right side. Opening the left arm wide, keep the shoulder down, maybe look past it. And again, continue to tilt the left outer hip towards the front edge of your mat. Let's take another 3 or so deep breaths. Slowly come back to center. Put the strap aside and bend your 2 knees into your chest, gently rocking side to side and or forward and back, just giving your back a massage against the floor. And however way you want to come up, eventually make your way onto hands and knees, all fours. You may want to place your 2 blocks to frame the top of your mat as you're making your way there. So set your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Set your wrists just under your shoulders. And let's begin a few cat-cows on your in-breath, gliding your chest through your upper arms, coil it up, and look up. On your out-breath, contracting your belly, tuck the tailbone, round your back. Inhale again, chest forward, rolling the shoulders down into cow pose. Exhale, contracting the belly to round into cat pose. And then on your own, maybe another 5 slow cycles of breath, whether you continue this motion or any other flavor you want to add to this motion. Remember that this is your practice, and as you tune into what your body needs moment by moment, feel free to adjust the postures or even take moments of stillness, of rest. I'll meet you in downward facing dog in a breath or 2. When you arrive in downward dog, take the first few breaths as well to shift around as you might need, pedaling the feet in place, to help warm up your hamstrings and calves. Shaking your head, nodding your head several times to help loosen your neck. As you wrap your outer upper arms towards the ground, lift the shoulders and hips up and back. Relaxing your neck, steady your eyes on one spot, parallel your feet apart, hips distance. Now let's hold still for 3 deep breaths, firming the belly in. On your next inhale, glide forward into the top of a push-up, plank pose, whether you choose to place your knees on the ground right under your hips or keep your legs actively straight. Nurture a horizontal center line down the middle of your body. Gazing on the floor just ahead of your hands with shoulders right on top of your wrists. Feel the belly activate. Let's take one more inhale and plank. And on a slow exhale, glide forward as far as you can before bending your elbows back to hug your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana, and lower all the way to the ground so that your wrists align with your floating ribs. Hugging your elbows close to your sides and pressing down through the tops of your feet. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, opening your chest in Cobra. Tuck your toes, engage your belly, and exhale, press up to your version of plank again, lifting your hips back to downward facing dog. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels and hips high, look past your hands. After you exhale, holding your breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. From your forward fold, press your legs to the ground and inhale, lift your chest, looking forward. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, inhale, circle your arms, looking up as you rise to stand. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer down the center of your body in mountain pose. Let's take 2 half sun salutations. Inhale, circle your arms, look up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway, looking forward. Exhale, fold again. Firm through the legs. Inhale, rise tall, palms touch. Exhale to your midline. One more time. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, lengthen forward, heart opening. Exhale, bow to yourself. Inhale, root down to rise up. And exhale, back to mountain pose. Let's keep going into sun salutation C. Inhale your arms forward and up. Exhale, bow with hands alongside your feet, maybe using blocks. Inhale, step the left knee back into a kneeling lunge, looking up. Hold the breath in as you walk to plank. Then exhale, lower your knees, your chest and chin. Inhale, slide to the ground, coiling the chest in cobra. Exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot beside left thumb, lower the back knee and look up. Exhale, step the right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up, standing back bend as gentle as you need. Exhale, hands down your midline. One more, second side. Inhale your arms forward and up, coiling the chest. Exhale, bow, hands beside your feet. Inhale, right knee steps back, look up, kneeling lunge. Hold the breath in as you step to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide into cobra pose. Exhale, lift the hips, downward dog. Inhale, step the right foot beside right thumb, kneeling lunge, look up. Exhale, step the left foot forward and bow. Inhale, arms forward, standing back bend. Exhale to your heart. Take a deep breath here, in and out through the nose. Come back to that whispering sound of your Ujjayi breath. Let's move into Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Inhale, circle your arms, gaze up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press with the hands, lengthen halfway. Either step into plank and lower through Chaturanga or float into Chaturanga, landing with elbows bent. Choose Cobra pose or upward facing dog in which the pelvis is lifted. Exhale, downward facing dog. Holding still. Let's take about 3 deep breaths, slowing down your breath again. On your third inhale, bend your knees and look forward to prepare. After you exhale, lift your pelvic floor with breath held out while you walk or lightly jump to the top. Then inhale, press with your fingertips to lift the chest forward. Exhale to bow in. Inhale, circle your arms to rise all the way up, looking up. Exhale, trace your hands down your midline. Let's take one more. Sun Salutation A. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press with your hands to lengthen halfway. Step as you exhale, or hold the breath in as you float into Chaturanga. And exhale when you land in Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's pause for 3 breaths, steadying your gaze, your drishti. So how do you embody a feeling of loving kindness? First, in my opinion, being fully present. Present in your body with your breath, observing your mind, gifting yourself your presence. Let's start there. As you inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bending the knee, turn your thigh open up in the sky. Inhaling, tack the left outer hip further back. And as you exhale, tap your right knee against your right outer upper arm or elbow. And lightly step your right foot forward outside of your right hand, setting your back knee on the ground or keeping it lifted, your choice. We're going to be here in lizard lunge for 5 breaths. Now you can have your hands on blocks, on the floor, but just make sure they're inside of your right leg. The right foot is closer to the right edge of your mat. You can also place your forearms down if you like. For this version of lizard lunge, let's keep the right toes facing forward. The entire sole of the foot on the floor. Right knee facing forward as you hug the right outer hip in towards your body and gently scissor it back. Let your chest expand forward. We've got about 3 more breaths. And now let's step the right foot front and center on your mat. Straighten your left leg and spin the heel down to prepare for Warrior 2. Align your front heel to intersect the arch of your back foot. Inhale, cartwheel your arms to rise up with arms wide open. The chest is facing your left wall as you gaze past your right fingertips. Notice how your left leg from the hip is turning slightly inward. So your back toes are pointing about 45 degrees to face the front of your mat. As your back leg is completely straight, press the outside edge of that foot firmly into the ground and the top of that left thigh bone back towards you, while bending the front knee right over the heel. Feel the right outer hip wrap slightly under your body and firm in towards you. And then the full length of your spine as you relax both of your shoulders down. Let's take about 3 more breaths in Warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana 2. Here's a posture to help cultivate focus, presence. So keep your arms wide open and let's straighten the right leg to prepare for triangle. Gliding your hips towards the back of your mat, reach your right hand towards your front wall before placing it down onto your right leg or just to the right of your leg, maybe onto a block. Just make sure you're not compressing this right side of your lower back or torso. If you are, set your right hand even higher than where it's landed. Keep wrapping the right outer hip underneath your body and add tacking the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer foot. As the crown of your head reaches forward towards the front wall, raise the left arm up and spiral your chest slightly to face the sky, gazing up past your left thumb if your neck feels okay with it. Let's take about 3 more breaths here in triangle pose or Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, sweep the left arm overhead, plant both hands in plank pose. Exhale from plank, lower through your vinyasa or go straight to downward facing dog. Feel into your body for a couple of breaths. Are you noticing anything different since you began this practice? Inhale, lift your left leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, turn your thigh open at the hip. Inhale, tack your right outer hip further back. Exhale, tap your left knee outside of your left upper arm as you shift into plank and softly step the foot forward to the left of your left hand. Lizard lunge. So if you lower the back knee on the first side, do the same here. Keep some symmetry. Both hands on the inside of your left leg on blocks or the floor, or come down onto your forearms. See what's available on this side of your hips. So same version, keeping the sole of your left foot entirely on the floor, pointing your left knee and middle toe towards the front wall. As you hug in your left outer hip and gently scissor it back, broaden your chest forward. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Then let's step the left foot front and center on your mat to prepare for Warrior 2. Straighten your right leg and spin the heel down. Align your front heel to the arch of your back foot. Then inhale to windmill your arms and rise so your chest completely faces your right wall as you gaze just past your left hand. Right leg slightly turns inward, straight, as you firm top of the right thigh bone back. Left knee bends right over the heel as you wrap the left outer hip under. Notice your 2 shoulders stacking above your 2 hips. And let's take another 3 or so breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your arms wide open, your spine tall, and straighten your left leg to prepare for triangle. Glide your hips sideways towards the back edge of your mat while reaching your left hand towards your front wall before placing it onto your left leg or just to the left of your leg, maybe onto a block. Feel into your body and how the sensations guide you into how high or low to place that left hand. Don't want to feel any compression in the left side of the lower back. Spiral your chest slightly to face the sky and maybe even look up past the right thumb. Let's breathe here. Another 3 or 4 cycles. Trikonasana. So exiting differently, take a look at your left foot. On an exhale, frame it with your two hands and step your right foot to touch it. Forward fold at the top of your mat. We're going to enter Sun Salutation B slowly. Bring your knees together. Inhale, sit back towards your heels in chair pose. Slowly but continuously, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press your legs to the ground to lift your chest and look forward. Step, step, or float, take your vinyasa. When you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg behind you. Exhale, step the foot beside your right thumb, spin the back heel down. Feet are about hips width apart, facing forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Ride the exhale into chaturanga and finish this vinyasa. When you arrive at downward dog, without rushing, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale the foot forward beside the left thumb. With feet hips width apart, spin the back heel down and face forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward dog, holding still, recultivating focus, balanced breath for 3 to 5 breaths. Then bending your knees, lift your heels and hips and look forward. At the end of an exhale with breath held out, walk or softly jump to the front of your mat. With feet touching, inhale, rise forward halfway. Exhale, fold. With knees touching too, inhale, chair pose. And exhale to rise up. So let's step the feet apart, hips distance, parallel, and bring your hands behind your lower back. You can either grab a strap to hold between the hands or interlace the fingers. And as you breathe in, rolling the shoulders back and down, feel your inner thighs spiral slightly towards the back wall as you reach the tailbone towards the ground, right between your heels. Exhale, bend from your hips, maybe also from your knees, and bow in. A few breaths. Feel your weight shift towards the front of your heels as you spread your toes. Let your head completely go. Relax the neck. Float the shoulders away from the neck to give it space. And continue to stretch the arms forward away from your lower back so you're opening your chest and the front of your shoulders. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Remember, you can bend your knees any amount here so that you can fully feel your spine unwind. Let's set the hands down, step the left knee back behind you. Please grab your strap, and we'll end up in a kneeling lunge with the front knee right on top of the heel. You can untuck the back toes as well. Legs or hips width apart. Lift your torso upright. So we're going to play with coming into a spinal twist with a wrap using a strap. If you feel it's way out of your mobility range right now, instead, you could take the left hand down onto a block or the floor on the inside of your right leg, so your wrist is right under the shoulder, and keep it in more open twist like this, the right arm to the sky. Otherwise, take the strap in your right hand and wrap it behind your back and feel the front of your right shoulder open up. And that's often the purpose of these wraps, even though they feel kind of bound. It's really to get more openness, especially in the area of the heart center, which we're energetically focusing on with our theme of loving kindness. So let your right arm wrap behind you as far as it will. And then take that tail of the strap, that long part that's dangling towards the ground, and sweep it over to the right side so you can see it sticking out of your right leg. from underneath, and then raise your left arm up. Keep that right foot firm, right knee and toes are facing forward the whole time. Sink the right hip, so create a sense of stability of your two hips leveling, and then inhale, stretch your spine down the midline of your mat. Send the shoulders down the back. Exhale, scoop in the belly, and turn your chest to the right. Now, the left arm, press it outside of your right thigh. You can start to reach for that strap. You might have to sweep it over and then catch it from underneath like this. So reaching for that strap with your left hand. Keep the arms pretty straight, and as you pull with the left hand, pull that strap down, you can feel adding that torque to twist and open your chest a bit more. Maybe looking up towards the sky. Feel all the sides of your neck as equally long as possible. Some of you might walk the left hand even closer to the right hand. Maybe the hands meet, maybe they clasp, in which you can drop the strap. Some of you might play with tucking the left toes and lifting the back knee off the floor. If you do, just make sure that right hip does not lift higher than the left hip. Keep the hips level to create stability at your center. Keep breathing, another 3 cycles. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One more full breath. Now look down at the floor just to the left of your right foot. Place your left palm flat on the ground. We're going to enter your choice of side plank. First choice or option is to lower the left knee and straighten the right leg, spinning the foot onto the floor as you raise the right arm. Another choice is to straighten the left leg and roll onto the pinky toe edge of your left flex foot, and stepping the right foot right in front of you onto the right edge of your mat, facing the right wall like a kickstand. Another option is to stack your 2 feet flexed or to hover the right foot. So whatever variation you're choosing, feel your shoulders and wrists stack in one line. Press the ground actively away and feel your left side body, your left hip rise away from the floor. And let's take about 3 more breaths, steadying your eyes in side plank or Vashisthasana. Slowly, when you're ready, sweep the right arm overhead, lower onto hands and knees. Maybe take some cat-cows or take a full vinyasa, or none of it. You could rest in child's pose. See what you need right now. How might you offer yourself loving kindness? And what form do you need? And we'll meet eventually in downward facing dog. Clear out through a deep exhale with lion's breath. So inhale fully. Open your mouth and eyes wide. Stick out your tongue and let any sound go. Easing back into lips closed, Ujjayi breath. Please step the left foot forward to the inside of your left hand. Send the right knee down. Come into a kneeling lunge with legs hips width apart, front knee right on top of the heel. Now, if you know you're going to take the open twist, you might want to block under your right hand and the left arm is going to be to the sky. If you're going to take or explore the wrap, grab the strap and come upright. So making sure you have a solid foundation, which is what is supporting your body from below. Right now it's your legs, especially this left leg, left foot. So once that's stable, then let's take the strap in the left hand and wrap the left arm behind your back. Open up the left side of your chest and inner shoulder. Take this long part of the strap and place it underneath your left thigh. Sweep it over to the left so that you can find it with the right hand in a moment. Firm this left foot still. Sink the left hip down. Breathe in and elongate your spine down the center of your mat. Use your obliques, the side muscles of your core, to twist first, then add the leverage of the right arm, hooking outside of the left thigh, looking for that other end of the strap if you're choosing to wrap. And if you have hold of the strap with 2 hands, straighten the right arm and walk your hands as close together as possible, feeling your chest open up breath by breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine towards the front of your mat. exhale, continue to twist. Now notice what variation you're in now, and maybe try to offer symmetry to your body by going into the same version as you did on the first side. Take about 4 more breaths. When you're ready, looking down at your left foot, plant your right hand flat on the floor so the wrist is right under your shoulder. Remember what variation of side plank you took. Option 1, right knee to the ground, left leg straight back, left arm to the sky. Option 2, roll onto the outside edge of your right foot, flex, and step the left foot in front of you, facing the left wall. Option 3, stack both feet flexed. Option 4, hover the left foot from there. So feel the ground and press it away. Lift the right side of your torso, right hip, and feel your shoulders and wrists stack in one line. Last 3 breaths. Vashisthasana, side plank. Since we're practicing opening the front of the shoulders in our back bends today, our heart openers, we also need to practice stability and strength around the shoulders for balance. Sweep the top arm overhead. Take your vinyasa or rest. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Three to 5 deep breaths. And then please bring your knees to the ground. I'm going to set you up in a version of supine hero's pose. So we can open up our quadriceps and perhaps hip flexors just a little bit more to help us in our back bending. So if your knees are sensitive and sitting on your calves directly like this does not feel comfortable, grab a pillow or a folded blanket like this one and make it as thick as you need to offer support so that you can place that folded part right up against the backs of your knees. And you can sit on the blanket or you can sit on a stack of blocks between the ankles right here. Otherwise, if you're able to sit on your calves, you can take it from there or go a little further and gently roll your calves aside so you can sit directly on the floor. In any of these heroes poses, make sure that your toes are pointing back. Your feet are not turned out to the sides, and that's to keep your knees safe. And then eventually, as we take about 10 long breaths in this posture, you might explore leaning back slowly, in which you're lifting the frontal hip bones slightly towards your lowest front ribs and lengthening the tailbone down and forward between the knees. So only taking it to the degree that your lower back does not feel compressed and your knees feel okay. Deep breaths. If you're lying all the way back, you might clasp the opposite elbows overhead. Try to keep your knees no wider apart than your hips distance and on the ground. Last couple of breaths here in Supta Virasana, supine hero's pose. Take your time coming out of this posture and back to downward facing dog. We'll use downward facing dog to open up space in the backs of the knees. A few breaths there. And then from downward dog, please have a seat. I want to demonstrate quickly camel pose, which we'll go into for 3 rounds. So we're going to start with our toes tucked on the ground and a block by the skinniest width, firmly hugging, that we're firmly hugging between the thighs, so the toes tucked. And we'll have the hands in the lower back. So in this posture, think of your lower back lengthening. So the tailbone is like an anchor, really heavily reaching towards the ground between your knees, not tilting further back like this. You really want to elongate the lower back. Then visualize the area that's right under your shoulder blades. That's where you want to feel most of the back bending that lifts your chest open. So by placing the hands in the lower back, accentuate the lengthening of the lower spine and lift your back ribs. Then inhale, bend the elbows closer together, roll the shoulders back and down, lifting the chest. Now you could stay here. We have 3 rounds, so maybe the first round you stay with the hands in the lower back. Or you could backstroke one arm and catch hold of the heel if it's reachable without straining, and then replace the hand and switch sides. Or you might also hold both heels as long as the pelvis remains right above the knees and doesn't start to move behind the knees. To come out of the pose, we'll replace the hands in the lower back, contract the belly, slowly roll the spine upright, and then maybe use the block between your ankles to sit for 3 breaths to rest. So let's take the first round together. Tucking your toes, grab your block by the skinny width, hug it right in between your thighs. Hands on the lower back, draw the tailbone down. Picture the area right under your shoulder blades to back bend at mostly. Bend the elbows closer together, breathe in and roll the shoulder heads back as you open the chest up. Count 5 to 10 breaths before you slowly roll up to sit and rest for 3 breaths. Now, options, you could backstroke one arm, catch the heel, maybe switch sides on this round or on your second round, or backstroke both hands, catch both heels. Finish this off on your own, and I'll meet you sitting to rest. Camel pose, or in Sanskrit, Ustrasana. And as you sit to rest, you might place your hands at the area of your heart energy center. It's around the middle of the chest. And notice how you feel. So this is a wonderful posture, like bridge pose, to really expand the lungs and feel the full depth of your inhales. Take your next round on your own. And if you were able to reach for your heels pretty easily and want to go a step further, you could point the toes back instead of tucking the toes. So 5 to 10 breaths, round 2 of camel pose. Especially if you're tilting your chin back in this posture, make sure that you create space in the back of your neck. You're not crunching into the back of the neck. So as you prepare for your third, your last camel pose, I invite you to remind yourself of your intention for this practice and see if some way you can cultivate the feeling tone of loving kindness. What images stir up the feeling of loving kindness for you? Maybe visualize that as you enter the last round. 5 to 10 breaths. This time when you come to sit, find a way to sit for a little bit of pranayama practice. You can sit for just a little bit longer. And we'll move into alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana, which is wonderful for promoting neural integration, which is integrating the left and right hemispheres of the brain, calms the nervous system, and helps us to tune in to our subtler, energetic being. So sitting upright, grounded, relaxed. Rest your left hand on your lap, and you may want to bring the thumb and first finger to touch to help you concentrate. With your right hand, bring it into Vishnu Mudra, which is all the fingers towards the heel of the palm except the thumb, the pinky, the ring, and the pinky finger. So thumb, ring, and pinky finger stick out. The right thumb will cover the right nostril, and the pinky and ring finger will cover the left nostril when we take the alternate breaths in a moment. So we'll start off together, and then we'll start to go at your pace when you're ready. Just breathing through the nose, in and out. So exhale this breath completely. Hold your breath out. Use the right thumb, cover right nostril. Inhale for about 6 counts through the left nostril slowly. Hold the breath in about 3 counts. Then cover the left nostril. Exhale about 6 counts through the right nostril slowly. Hold it out 3 counts. Inhale through right. Hold. Cover right. Exhale through left. Hold. Inhale through left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale through right. Hold. Inhale through right. Hold. Cover right. Exhale through left. Hold. Inhale through left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale through right. Hold. Inhale through right. Hold. Cover right. Exhale through left. Continue one more cycle on your own. The next time you exhale through left nostril and hold, that'll be the end of the cycle. Then we'll relax. And when you're finished, let's prepare to enter a seated spinal twist by extending your left leg forward and either stepping your right foot on the ground in front of your right hip or crossing your foot outside of your left knee and maybe also bending the left knee. Place the right hand on the ground behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm, sitting tall. Gently twist to your right, lowering your left arm onto your top shin or hooking the elbow outside of that thigh. Feel your spine lengthen as you breathe in, and allow the twist to gently deepen as you breathe out. Follow this breath all the way out, and then unwind your spine to switch sides. Straighten your right leg forward. Try to set up the same way as you did on the first side, either foot in front of the hip or crossed outside the knee, maybe also bending the right knee. Place your left hand behind your pelvis, your right arm up, sitting tall, and then twisting to your left side. Lower your right arm on your shin or hook the elbow outside of your thigh. So rather than pushing your way through the twist, let it be more of an allowing, a surrendering to the breath creating space, offered up to your spine, and the breath out, allowing release. And as you finish this exhalation, let's extend both legs forward to prepare for a seated forward fold. You may want to use your strap around your feet. Otherwise, hands alongside the hips. Separate your feet about hips width apart and flex them. Ground your sitting bones and sit tall. Keeping the shoulders relaxed so the throat is open, the chest is open. Slowly hinge from your hips. Grab onto the backs of your legs if you're not using a strap. Perhaps clasp your big toes with your index and middle fingers. About 3 more breaths here in Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. With the next in-breath, float your heart up to rise. And let's begin to lower our bodies for corpse pose for a few minutes. So feel free to grab any of the props that will help support your body to be still in comfort, like a couple of blocks under the backs of the knees for some lower back relief, or a weighted blanket set on your pelvis and lower belly for comfort and grounding. Maybe something to cover your eyes as you close your eyes. And perhaps one more clearing exhalation through the mouth, then letting go of controlling your breath. So gifting yourself, even in this moment of stillness, especially in this moment of stillness, your presence. Ease into deepening your breath, gently moving small parts of your body, perhaps keeping your eyes closed as you lovingly begin to wake up your body out of stillness. Take your time, perhaps turning over to your left side, and then gently lifting your body upright, preparing to sit for 5 minutes of meditation. So metta meditation, or metta bhavana, shares a similar foundational wisdom with a Hindu tradition. We are all one. As opposed to vipassana meditation, a style of sitting that cultivates personal insight, metta bhavana requires concentration. By first focusing loving kindness inward, we develop the empathy necessary to then consciously direct that kindness, compassion, and patience outward. In so doing, we are working to become one with the divine. And so, metta, loving kindness meditation, is our practice today. As you're sitting, rest your hands comfortably in a mudra of your choice and either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot ahead. Allow your breath to flow naturally. I invite you to return to the intention that you chose to cultivate through this practice today. And to sum up that intention into one quality, one word. For example, peace, love, clarity, forgiveness, compassion. What is one positive quality that you gifted yourself in your work here today? Next, I invite you to visualize yourself staring right back at you. And as you see yourself, to gift this one quality by saying, may you enjoy blank, fill in the blank. And if there's a different wording that resonates better with you, with the same effect, feel free to add your flavor. May you enjoy blank. Allow a moment to find some authenticity in this feeling. So it's not just about the words, it's really about the feeling tone, which is what bhavana means. Can you allow yourself to feel what you are gifting yourself? Next, I invite you to call to mind someone or a being that you care about. See them in front of you now. And just the same way, offer them the same gift. May you enjoy blank. Or in your own words. And allow a moment to again share that feeling tone. Visualize them receiving your gift. Thirdly, I invite you to call to mind somebody that you may feel neutral about. Maybe it's someone that you see once in a while in your neighborhood or along your way to work or to school that you might say hi to here and there. See them in front of you, and in just the same way, give them your gift. May you enjoy. Find a genuine place in your heart to feel them receiving that gift. Now, lastly, I invite you to call to mind someone that you may have had conflict with, who challenged you in some way. While this may not be easy, see them in front of you and invite you to share the same gift with them. May you enjoy. Remember, this is a practice of loving kindness. Finding a place that is real within you, that can witness them receiving your gift. Let's bring the palms to meet at the heart, bowing in to close. Thank you for your courage in this practice. Let's join in one last chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.